United States and Russia take a major step toward rebuilding relations. In a surprising turn of events, the United States and Russia have taken a significant step toward resetting their diplomatic ties. On Tuesday, top officials from both countries met to discuss ending the war in Ukraine, boosting financial cooperation, and restoring normal relations. This meeting marked a dramatic shift after 3 years of U.S. efforts to isolate Moscow following its 2022 invasion of Ukraine. After more than 4 hours of talks, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that both sides had agreed to work on a peace deal for Ukraine and explore economic and geopolitical partnerships. Not only were we listening to each other, but we were truly understanding one another, said Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. He added that he believes the U.S. is starting to grasp Russia's position more clearly. This was the most extensive negotiation between the two world powers in over 3 years, signaling a major shift in U.S. foreign policy under President Trump. The move reflects Trump's intent to abandon the previous administration's approach, which focused on sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and military aid to Ukraine. During the press briefing, U.S. officials made no mention of Russia's violation of international law, alleged war crimes, or the destruction caused by its bombings in Ukraine. Instead, they repeatedly praised Trump for his ability to negotiate with Russia in ways his predecessor did not. Over the past 3 years, no one else has been able to achieve what we witnessed today, said Rubio. Donald Trump is the only leader in the world who could make this happen. The meeting took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, less than a week after Trump's phone call with President Vladimir Putin. It was hosted by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has been working to elevate his country's influence on the global stage. The discussions highlighted Trump's eagerness to work with Russia to end the war, an approach that aligns with many of Putin's demands while raising concerns among U.S. allies in Europe. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reacted strongly, postponing his planned visit to Saudi Arabia in protest, stating that Ukraine should not be left out of critical negotiations. The Russian delegation, which included Putin's foreign policy advisor Yuri Ushakov and Sovereign Wealth Fund chief Kirill Dmitriev, used the meeting to highlight potential economic benefits for the U.S. Dmitriev emphasized that American oil companies and other businesses could make hundreds of billions of dollars by resuming operations in Russia. Major U.S. oil companies have had successful ventures in Russia, Dmitriev said. We believe they will return because why would they give up the opportunities Russia offers in terms of natural resources? The Russian side also expressed optimism that a peace deal with Ukraine could lead to the lifting of U.S. sanctions imposed under the Biden administration. Following the meeting, Rubio outlined a 3-step plan for future cooperation. First, both countries will work on lifting diplomatic restrictions affecting their embassies in Moscow and Washington. Second, they will engage in negotiations on the conditions for ending the war in Ukraine, ensuring consultation with European allies. Finally, the U.S. and Russia will explore new geopolitical and economic partnerships. This meeting was the first time in over 2 years that senior officials from both nations held extensive face-to-face discussions. However, the response in Europe and Ukraine has been mixed, with many expressing concern that Trump's approach lacks coordination with U.S. allies. For Saudi Arabia, the talks were an opportunity to reinforce its role as a key player in global diplomacy. In a statement, the Saudi Foreign Ministry welcomed both delegations, reaffirming the kingdom's commitment to promoting peace and security worldwide. As the world watches closely, the next steps in U.S.-Russia relations will determine whether this meeting marks a true diplomatic breakthrough or a shift with unforeseen consequences.